Good morning. Welcome to your comprehensive national weather overview, where we break down the latest conditions and what you can expect as the week unfolds. It's Monday, October 20th, 2025, and we're tracking not one, but two major storm systems that are poised to make a significant impact across the United States this week. These systems are bringing a dynamic mix of weather, from wintry conditions to severe thunderstorms, and everything in between. In the west, heavy snow is already blanketing the Rocky Mountains, transforming the landscape into a winter wonderland. Ski resorts are seeing their first big accumulations, and travelers should be prepared for slick roads and reduced visibility. Meanwhile, the southern plains are bracing for severe storms, with the potential for intense lightning, heavy downpours, and even localized flooding in some areas. Millions across the central and eastern U.S. will feel a dramatic drop in temperatures as a powerful cold front sweeps through, sending folks reaching for their jackets and scarves. This chilly air is a sure sign that autumn is in full swing. Across the country, vibrant fall foliage is peaking, with leaves swirling in the brisk breeze. It's a classic fall transition, marked by rapidly changing weather and beautiful seasonal scenery. The first storm system is now exiting the northeast, leaving behind gusty winds that are rattling windows and making it feel even cooler. Residents can expect temperatures to dip further as the day goes on. At the same time, a second more powerful system is organizing over the northern plains. This one is expected to bring high winds, the season's first significant snow for some, and a sweeping cold front that will push south and east. We're also keeping a close eye on the Caribbean, where conditions are becoming favorable for tropical development. Any new storm could bring heavy rain and gusty winds to the southeast later in the week. Throughout this broadcast, we'll break down each system's path, timing, and potential impacts so you can plan ahead and stay safe no matter where you live. Severe weather risks this week include damaging winds capable of knocking down trees and power lines, as well as large hail that could damage vehicles and property. There's also a risk for a few isolated tornadoes, especially as the storms intensify later in the week. Stay alert to changing conditions and have your safety plan ready. The key takeaway: expect rapid changes, especially across the central and eastern U.S., where weather can shift from sunny to stormy in just a matter of hours. So let's dive into the details, explore what's ahead, and make sure you're prepared for whatever this week's wild weather has in store. In the Northeast, our first major storm of the season is finally making its exit, but not without leaving a lasting impression on the region. After a wet and stormy weekend that brought heavy rain, gusty winds, and even some localized flooding, communities are beginning to dry out. Showers and a few lingering thunderstorms are gradually tapering off as the system moves offshore, taking most of the moisture with it and allowing for some much-needed clearing. The main story now shifts to the wind and a sharp drop in temperatures. Gusts over 40 miles per hour are possible, especially near the Great Lakes and in the higher elevations of New England, making it feel even colder than the thermometer suggests. Colder Canadian air is settling in behind the departing storm, ushering in a brisk, blustery day across the Northeast. If you're heading outside, you'll want to bundle up, as the wind will make it feel much chillier than recent days. As skies clear tonight, temperatures will drop quickly, especially away from the coast. Many inland areas will see lows dipping into the 30s and 40s, with the potential for patchy frost in the coldest spots by early morning. Winds will gradually subside by Tuesday, but the chill in the air will linger, reminding us that autumn is firmly in control and winter is just around the corner. It's a classic post-storm pattern for the Northeast. The sun returns, skies brighten, but the air is noticeably colder and much drier, with that crisp, invigorating feel that signals a seasonal shift. Take advantage of the beautiful, brisk fall weather while it lasts. Enjoy a walk in the park, or simply soak up the sunshine. But keep an eye on the forecast, because even bigger changes are on the horizon as the week unfolds. This departing storm has opened the door for a much colder air mass to sweep southward, setting the stage for a dramatic temperature drop and the possibility of the season's first widespread frost in some areas. Stay tuned for more updates as the weather continues to evolve. Now to the main event, a rapidly intensifying storm system taking shape over the northern plains. This is not your average fall weather pattern. Meteorologists are tracking a classic powerhouse low-pressure system spinning up with impressive speed and energy. The satellite imagery shows a swirling mass of clouds, with strong wind currents wrapping around the center of the storm. This is the kind of system that can bring dramatic changes in a matter of hours, and it's already making its presence felt. Early season snow is already blanketing the higher elevations of Montana and Wyoming, transforming the landscape into a winter wonderland. But for travelers and residents, it's a different story. Roads are slick, visibility is reduced, and mountain passes are becoming treacherous. If you're planning to travel through the high country, be prepared for rapidly changing conditions and the possibility of road closures or delays. As the storm intensifies and pushes eastward, its most widespread impact will be the powerful winds sweeping across the plains. These winds are expected to pick up speed quickly, stretching from the Dakotas all the way into the Midwest. Trees will bend, unsecured objects could become airborne, and outdoor activities may be disrupted. The sheer size of this wind field means millions will feel its effects. Expect high winds from the plains to the Great Lakes, with gusts strong enough to cause power outages, downed tree limbs, and hazardous driving conditions. High-profile vehicles, like trucks and SUVs, will be especially vulnerable on open highways. Power companies are already preparing for the possibility of outages, and emergency crews are on alert. While severe thunderstorms are less likely due to a lack of deep Gulf moisture, don't let your guard down. The storm's sheer strength will still make for a turbulent few days, with rapidly changing skies, sudden bursts of wind, and the potential for brief, isolated downpours. Even without widespread thunderstorms, the atmosphere will feel unsettled and dynamic. The system will reach its peak intensity over the Great Lakes late Tuesday into Wednesday. As it does, it will usher in a much colder air mass, dropping temperatures sharply and whipping up choppy waters on the lakes. Boaters and those living near the shoreline should be prepared for rough conditions and sudden temperature swings. By Thursday and Friday, the storm will gradually weaken as it moves into Canada, but its effects will linger. Expect gusty winds, lingering clouds, and even some snow flurries in parts of southern Canada and the northern U.S. The atmosphere will remain unsettled, and it may take a few days for conditions to fully calm down. One of the most noticeable impacts will be a dramatic temperature drop sweeping across the eastern half of the country. Overnight lows will plunge, and daytime highs will feel much colder than recent days. Frosty mornings and chilly winds will be the new normal for many, so it's time to dig out those heavier coats and prepare for a true taste of autumn. The key message here is to brace for wind. Secure loose outdoor items, such as patio furniture, trash bins, and decorations, to prevent them from becoming dangerous projectiles. Take a few minutes to check your property and make sure everything is ready for the coming gusts. And prepare for challenging travel, especially if you're driving long distances or through open areas. Keep both hands on the wheel, reduce your speed, and watch for sudden gusts that could push your vehicle off course. If you encounter downed power lines or debris, turn around and find a safer route. This is a storm you'll not only see but also feel and hear. The howling winds, rattling windows, and rustling trees will be a constant reminder of the storm's power. It's a good idea to check on neighbors, especially those who may need extra help during severe weather. Stay alert as conditions can change quickly. Keep an eye on weather updates. Have your emergency kit ready, and be prepared to adjust your plans as the storm evolves. This is a dynamic situation, and staying informed is your best defense. Attention shifts south later this week as a new system emerges from the Rockies into the central and southern plains. This setup could trigger severe thunderstorms Thursday and Friday, especially in Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. The risk depends on the timing of the upper-level trough. If it speeds up, severe weather is likely. Supercells could bring large hail and damaging winds. An isolated tornado can't be ruled out. By Friday, a more organized cold front could spark a line of strong storms, from Texas to Arkansas and Missouri. Main threats: damaging winds and large hail. Cities like Dallas, Oklahoma City, and Kansas City should stay weather aware. The system weakens by Saturday, but isolated severe storms remain possible into the weekend. Monitor forecasts closely. Thursday and Friday are key days for the southern plains. One of the week's biggest impacts will be widespread high winds, thanks to the powerful northern storm. Gusts of 40-60 mph are expected from the Texas Panhandle to Wisconsin, making travel hazardous and causing possible power outages. High wind warnings are in effect. Secure outdoor items now. The strongest winds shift east into the Midwest and Great Lakes by Tuesday, with cities like Chicago and Detroit facing blustery commutes. Even outside the main corridor, much of the eastern U.S. will be breezy. Winds ease by mid-week as the storm weakens, but stay cautious until then. This is classic fall weather. Hold on to your hats and drive carefully. Alongside the wind, a dramatic temperature drop is on the way. Today, Texas still feels like summer, but much cooler air is already pushing into the Midwest. By Tuesday, lows in the 40s will be common across the Midwest, with a real chill arriving Wednesday. Expect freezing temps in Minnesota and the Dakotas. The cold surge reaches as far south as Atlanta, with 40s possible. Thursday and Friday bring a hard freeze to the upper Midwest and Great Lakes. Protect pipes and sensitive plants. Frosty mornings are here, signaling the end of the growing season for many. The cold moderates by the weekend, with milder air returning to the plains. Meanwhile, the Pacific Northwest turns cooler as a new pattern sets up. It's a week of big swings. Keep that jacket handy. Stay tuned for more on the shifting temperature pattern. Out west, the Pacific Northwest faces a major atmospheric river event from Friday into the weekend. Expect 2 to 3 days of steady, heavy rain in coastal Washington and Oregon, raising the risk of localized flooding. Rivers and streams will rise, clear gutters, and prepare for wet conditions. In the Cascades and northern Rockies, significant early-season snow will create hazardous travel over mountain passes. Ski resorts will welcome the snow, but drivers should be ready for winter conditions and possible road closures. This marks a shift to a wetter, cooler pattern for the region. We'll track rainfall and snowfall totals as the event unfolds. The tropics remain active, with a system in the Caribbean showing strong signs of development. The National Hurricane Center gives it a high chance of becoming Tropical Storm Melissa in the next few days. Warm water and low wind shear make conditions ripe for strengthening. Most likely, the system will organize south of Cuba and turn northeast, bringing heavy rain and wind to Hispaniola and Puerto Rico by midweek. A less likely scenario could take it toward the Yucatan or Gulf of Mexico, so we'll keep watch. No immediate threat to the U.S. mainland, but residents in the Greater Antilles should monitor updates. Stay alert for changes as the system develops. The tropics can surprise us, even late in the season. We'll keep you posted on any shifts in the forecast. With active weather coast to coast, preparation is key. Stay informed, use weather apps, radios, and local news for alerts. Secure outdoor items if you're in the wind zone and drive carefully, especially in high-profile vehicles. In the southern plains, know your safe place for severe storms and be ready to act quickly. As cold air arrives, protect people, pets, and plants. Bring pets indoors and disconnect hoses to prevent frozen pipes. Check on neighbors who may need help, especially the elderly. Every storm is different. Common sense precautions go a long way. We'll be here with updates to keep you ahead of the storm. Stay safe.